Hey guys, welcome back to Max and Daddy's videos. Today I am going to be starting a brand new series because I've wanted to do this series for a while, ever since the college football playoffs started. They are currently in the semifinals in real life, but ever since the college football playoffs started, I've really wanted to just find some more formats, especially now that the quarterfinals have ended and every team that was seeded 1 through 4 lost. There's got to be some kind of change, otherwise it's going to be horrible next season. What's the point in making a bye if you're not going to even, really, you can't say too much about it though. It's partially the seeding, it's partially the teams just didn't play well. Really, like if you actually look and you think about how they played, Oregon was the team that I thought, when I was making my predictions, I thought that Oregon would be the only team to make it through. It would be Oregon, and then I was pretty sure Texas was going to win, thought Notre Dame would get the win, and I thought that, I'm blanking on the last team, and then I knew Penn State would win. I didn't think Boise State really had a chance in that game. They were just there for fun. But I thought Oregon would win, and they got blown out by Ohio State. So I feel like there's something that's got to change here. So I decided, why don't I take it into my own hands, at least for the moment, and just make this, and decide to brainstorm and make some new scenarios for a college football playoff that may do even better and have even better games than the regular one right now does. And so there's lots of ways you could go about this. I am thinking right now, the only way that I currently can do it is if I do it in college football 25. So that's what I'm in right now. I am going to do this through multiple episodes, and every episode will be a new format. So episode 1 might be, I'm not sure, episode 3 might be like whatever, I haven't figured them out yet, but I will. And every episode, I'm just going to keep this going for a bit. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to find. But put in the comments of this video if you can think of any formats yourself, because I want to try them in college football and see if they're good. So the ones that I've gotten, I'll tell you right now, I did not make these myself. And the ones that I have for quite a few episodes will be from ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT, so they were AI generated, just in case you were wondering about that. I know these days some people don't really like AI generated things. These were AI generated, but I will be simulating them in college football, so ChatGPT did not decide these scores at all. So I think that this first episode, I think we need a baseline. We need to figure out what it would look like in college football without any changes. So we're going to be simulating the college football playoff just as it is in the regular format in college football today. So let's get right into it with our first teams. Our first matchup today will be Clemson taking on Texas, which was the first game of the actual college football playoff if you go from top to bottom in the bracket, which they didn't do in real life. But that's how we're going to be doing it. I am going to be simulating all these games, so it's not going to be anything here, but I think it would be really nice to just have some, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to leave everything the way it is. We're going to go into this game. It's going to be in Texas' stadium. I'm going to put all of these on 15-minute sims because that's how it is in the real game. This game, I'm pretty sure, I think it was just like I think it was like a 3:30 game. It wasn't a night game, that's for sure. Just normal weather, and then we just want, exhibition, that doesn't matter, and yeah, we're ready to go. So let's advance to this game, and I will be quick simming, so I will jump back in, and I will tell you guys if anything crazy happens. Okay, so we're just out of halftime here. Someone tell me how this is actually a really close game. It's a 2-point game entering the fourth quarter, so I'm gonna switch this to normal if it doesn't get out of hand. They got a crazy stop. Okay, so let's go normal here. They didn't get anything? Oh, they got something, I think. Wait, hang on. I'm going to go slow here because we need to see this live. We need to see this. There's Bevo down there. The Texas Long, I mean, they are giving it, I don't know why. Okay, 35-36, but Clemson is driving here. I mean, what a better first game. What better first game could you ask for? They're going to get the first down, and Texas could be out already. That would be not like what we saw in real life, but I mean, anything's possible in the college football simulated world. Cade Klubnik slinging it, gets the first down, and more. 300 yards on the day for Cade Klubnik. And the stadium is rocking, but Cade doesn't matter. He doesn't care. No, he doesn't matter. He does very much matter in this game. Cade Klubnik looking, running, getting down, and they're going to call another timeout. Texas are on the brink of getting eliminated in a first-round matchup at home. It was this was a close game. The entire time it was simulating, there was nobody pulled away. It was like this the entire time. Cade Klubnik he drops the ball, third down, and it's not really that important. You can still kick the game winner, even if you don't get anything here, but it does stop the clock, which is going to be bad for Clemson. You want to run the clock out and score. I think here you run the clock, you run it, and then you just kick the field goal. But that is going to be what they do. Good stop. So they're going to force Texas are not going to call a timeout. I would call a timeout if I was Texas. No one's going to call a timeout. So this is going to just go down. And Clemson are in position to kick a game-winning field goal here. In a shocker, an upset. This is a massive upset too. Clemson are the 12 seed. The winner of this game, okay, they're going to ice the kicker. The winner of this game will go on to play Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. The one in real life with Texas was a banger of a game. But this one, it looks like Clemson will be the team to go through already. I mean, who could have thought that Clemson would be the team to advance in the first game? It's in a really, really good game too. And we have already had an upset here. What a crazy game. And I don't know. I mean, Texas are going to need a miracle to win this game. Here comes the kick. It's up. And I think they're going to take it out. That is not the right decision. They're going to be on the 19. They're going to just have to throw it up and hope. Quinn Ewers, I believe, is out there on the field. You need this. Gets rid of it, falls. He catches it, but that's it. Clemson win the first game of this college football playoff simulation. Crazy scenes here. That was a horrible fourth quarter by Texas. They could have taken it, but Cade Klubnik, 301 yards and 4 touchdowns was all it took to beat Texas. What a game, what a day, and that's going to be the end of this matchup. Now it's time for the matchup that really was the most hyped, I think, in the first round. Everyone was thinking that there was going to be just a chance that Tennessee would get the win in this matchup. Yeah, that didn't happen. Sadly, I was thinking that it would be close at least. I don't believe that it was really that close at all. So it's time to get right into this one. I'll tell you if it gets close. If not, you'll just see the final score at the end. So this game is just as close as the other one was. And it's time to go slow mode because this game is about to be, I think, tied. I'm pretty sure Ohio State just scored. Yeah, they just scored. So now they're going to go for the kick. Can Tennessee masterfully create a game-winning drive on the road at Ohio State Stadium in Columbus, Ohio? This is back-to-back close games. I mean, you could not ask for a better result here. It seems like maybe the College Football Playoff Committee actually did something good, because 2 back-to-back close games is really good. And an upset already with Clemson beating Texas, what more could you ask for as a college football fan? As a Texas fan, you probably are quite mad, but you got the right call. I mean, you were the home team, and you could have won that game. And you decided to intercepted by Ohio State. That's it. The game is over. Tennessee is Nico Amaliava, I believe. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he throws an interception, and I think Ohio State are going to take this win at home. They should be able to just kneel out the clock, because, yeah, Cody Simon. And they're going to have to run a few plays, because I think, well, Tennessee have all of their timeouts, I think. I thought they only had 1, but they might have them all. What a tackle. Yeah, they had all 3 of their timeouts. So they can get a stop here and get the ball back if they can stop them. 2nd and 10. You need a stop. 1st down ends the game now after you've used the timeout. A 1st down ends it. Good tackle. And another timeout called. Can Ohio State pull out the win here? They got the interception. Can they win it? 3rd down, you have to get this. If you get this, you win. If you don't get it, you give the ball back to Tennessee with a chance. It's a run and a big tackle for 1 yard. And now, if you're Ohio State, you just give the ball back to Tennessee. They have 33 seconds and no timeouts. This game is they turned it over in their own half. This is gonna be a very important field goal kick for Ohio State. Oh, almost blocked it. It goes through, field goal, and now you have to score a touchdown if you're Tennessee. Ohio State will get the ball, almost blocked by Tennessee. That would have been a game changer. But instead it sneaks through the upright, and Ohio State will take a 6-point lead here. Okay, so the kickoff will happen. There's 30 seconds on the clock. Tennessee has to go and score. If they score, they win. But they have to get a touchdown in less than 30 seconds, and they only get to the 20-yard line. This seems just like the Texas game we had earlier, but you never know. He's gonna make a short pass, but I think he's gonna get a 1st down, so the clock will stop. But I don't know if I think they got out of bounds there. Lucky, because the clock is not stopping. But you can't do that if you're Ohio State. You just gave up a really big play on a check down. Oh no, they did not, and the clock is running, so it's gonna be 9, 8, 7, snap, spikes it. 7 seconds on the clock. That was bad clock management. If you got a check down, you have to get out of bounds. And he did not. So the clock was running. And now it is 7 seconds on the clock. So, I mean, you got to throw Hail Mary here, because that's all you're going to get is a Hail Mary. So here we go. Amalava throws it deep. Incomplete. Ohio State win, and they will advance to take on Oregon in a matchup that happened in real life in the Rose Bowl. No upset here. Same thing happened that happened in real life. But the next game is an interesting one. Will Howard with the player of the game. So it's time for probably one of the biggest wildcard games, honestly. SMU Penn State. Penn State in real life demolished SMU. There's even clips going around of how the SMU band were sitting in the very top corner of the stadium, and Penn State just demolished that game. SMU, they got in. They did a really good job in the ACC this year, but Penn State just did better in this game and were the better team overall. So can they get the win here? Well, It's our first blowout of the day. And I don't think any of you would really believe me if I told you this game was 10-10 at halftime, or close to halftime. This game was 10-10. And Penn State just went out and absolutely demolished in the second half. I mean, it was just like real life, really, in the real life game. Not the highlights, but if I go and look at the stats, we can see, I want to see it. I mean, yeah, SMU lost two turnovers. And I mean, that's really where it was. It was 10-10 at halftime. The third quarter, they got a 30-yard run, a 5-yard run, and a field goal, and then a pass. And that was it. The game was over after that. In the third quarter, it was literally only Penn State. 17 points in the third quarter for Penn State. So 18-34 is the final score here. Well, the final game of the first round, Indiana traveling into Notre Dame's stadium to see if they can get the win. I'm very excited about this one. I think in real life, I mean, Notre Dame just demolished. It was cold. It wasn't snowing, but it was just a cold game for Notre Dame. And they got the win when they played against Indiana. But I think Indiana has the chance to win this game in college football. So we'll see. Maybe the second upset of this tournament so far. And so, yeah, this game is a very interesting one. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, Indiana just won. Okay, Indiana won 43-36. I mean, what a game. Indiana, I believe, was up 28-7. And Notre Dame stormed back. They tied it up and then blew it after that. And Curtis Rourke, 400 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. And that's going to be hard to beat from any team. So Indiana will go through. That's our second upset of this first round in college football. So I'm starting to think maybe the committee did a few things correctly, but having like those two games in the middle, they were not close, especially the SMU one. I don't think, maybe if Alabama was in there instead, like all the SMU fans are going to be like, we deserve to be in there. But maybe if Alabama was in there instead, they would have had a higher chance of winning. I don't know. I mean, Alabama taking on Penn State would be a better game, I think personally, but I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. And the next few of these episodes, we could be seeing some crazy matchups. That's a little bit of foreshadowing, but the next game will be in the Peach Bowl. So this one is very interesting. I'm very interested as to what has happened. I think Clemson could go to the championship in this simulation because they take on Arizona State now, and then they have to play maybe Ohio State or Oregon in the semis. This game is going to be in the Rose Bowl, and not in the Rose Bowl. This game is going to be in the Peach Bowl in Georgia. And the real one, I mean, this was the best game of the college football playoff in real life. But in this one, I think Clemson could just take this and not give it to Arizona State at all. So it'll be interesting to see. Well, I was correct, and 49-14. Could we see something crazy here? I think Clemson are going to the final. I'm making the prediction right now. If you throw 6 touchdowns in the Peach Bowl to win the Peach Bowl, I mean, you've done something correctly. I'll say that. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl goes to Clemson, and they're going to take on the winner of Ohio State, Oregon. And Arizona State just didn't have a chance in this game. Clemson scored 14 points in 3 quarters, and it's going to be very hard to stop that. So I can't wait for Ohio State, Oregon. So now we've got Ohio State taking on Oregon, and this is just like in real life, but Ohio State demolished Oregon in the real life game. I don't know if that's going to happen here, though. I think Oregon gets the win, and we're going to see a Clemson-Oregon matchup. Well, I was actually right again. I'm 2 for 2 in this round of predictions, but I mean, something went wrong in this game for Ohio State, and Oregon will get the Rose Bowl trophy. So congratulations, Oregon. You did better in this simulation than you did in real life. But Yeah, I mean, Dylan Gabriel just went off, but this game is actually close at halftime, and Ohio State bottled it in the second half. But the next game is going to be, and so Oregon are now going to take on Clemson. Two teams that aren't in that game in real life are going to be facing off in the Cotton Bowl. And then we also will have, let's see, the winner of the, okay, so then we'll have Penn State taking on Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl next. So this is going to be a really interesting one because I think Boise State has the chance to win this game. I think that if they use Ashton Jeanty, they can do it. They could not beat Penn State because they could not use Ashton Jeanty. And so that's going to be the real deciding factor here. Can Ashton Jeanty go off in this game against Penn State? They have a chance to win and can go through, but it's going to be a really hard challenge against this Penn State team. Okay, so somehow this game is close. I mean, this was not close earlier. It is now extremely close. So I'm going to go slow here, and we are going to watch the rest of this game and see what happens. I think there's around like 2 or 3 minutes left, but anything could happen in these final minutes. Yeah, I mean, Penn State are kicking a field goal here to go up by 11 on Boise State. And there's a flag on the play, and so Penn State will get a first down. Roughing the kicker, or running into the kicker, it's going to be a first down and goal for Penn State, and I think that's lost the game for Boise State. I don't think you can get the win now. It's a first and goal in the 4. And if they get a touchdown, the game's over, I would say. They're going to hand it off. Good stop. And now Boise State has an injured player on the field. Everything is going wrong for this Boise State team. I mean, right now it's a 6-point game. So, oh, I did my math wrong earlier. Right now it's a 6-point game. If you don't allow a touchdown, there's another flag on the play. And Boise State, another defensive penalty. They call an illegal man downfield against Penn State. Oh, never mind. I take that back. So now Penn State get a penalty, and now can Boise State capitalize and hold them to another field goal attempt? Drew Aller catches for a 3rd and goal at the 4. And you just got to make the play here at Boise. I'll tell you, I'm kind of rooting for Boise State. Having another team in the next round that we didn't have in real life would be really cool. However, you're going to need to stop them here because a field goal would make it a 9-point game. And then, I mean, really right now what you just need is them to go for it on 4th down and not get it. They're not doing that. Motion here. Audibles out of it. Decides it's a bad idea. Hands it off. No. 4th and goal. After Nicholas Singleton is having a pretty good game, honestly. Can they get the stop here? 4th and goal. 2 minutes. They're going to just kick the field goal. No penalties this time. It's perfect. 43. And now Boise State have to go the length of the field. Up and good by the Penn State kicker. And this game, I believe that I don't think it was close in the first half. I'm pretty sure Boise State pulled back into this game. They were not in this. And they pulled back and scored. So, I mean, they're going to need Ashton Jeanty to do something here. But this is where they don't want to be. I know from experience, especially during our Kennesaw State dynasty and all the other things, that if you are a run-first team, you cannot go down in these situations because there is no telling what you don't have an identity if you're in these 2-minute scenarios where you cannot run the ball efficiently, if you cannot pass. So you don't want to get down like this. That's a first down. Okay, they're kind of driving here a little bit. It's the first down. And can they make a full drive here? Time is ticking. I don't know why they aren't doing anything. You don't need to show us the replay. You can just show us the play. Because here they go. looking. A minute and 30 on the clock. They need a touchdown. Snaps it. Madsen throws incomplete. And what are they going to do here? They're going to call a timeout. This is not good for Boise State. I mean, you're going to have the ball, but you're going to need a few big plays. You got to go sideline, and you cannot keep throwing checkdowns in the middle of the field. That is a big play over the middle. And I don't think you call a timeout here. I think you just go and spike it as fast as you can. When the clock starts ticking, then you'll know, yep, 17, 16, 15. They're at the line. They just haven't spiked it. You gotta go. I don't understand. I really don't understand. They're not gonna spike it. There's still a minute left. They say that they're fine. And stepping back, Madsen will throw. He gets out of bounds, so that's fine, I guess. You got a yard. In the Fiesta Bowl here in Arizona, can Boise State get an upset win, even though they're the higher seeded team? Can they get an upset? Boise State, Madsen gets sacked, and that's the one thing you could not do right there. He gets sacked, and now it's going to be a 3rd and 17 for Boise State, and I think Penn State are going to get the win here. And I don't think it's going to be particularly close in these final minutes. You cannot spike it here. You have to go for it. There's only 30 seconds. Oh, I thought it was a touchdown. But the Penn State player makes a good play on the ball, and so they're going to now need a big play here. It's a 4th and 17 yards. They need 17 yards here. Texas got a 4th and 13 in overtime in their game. Can Boise State make a similar play? Snaps it here. Madsen throws. That's way too short. And it's going to be intercepted. And can he take it? He's going to take it to the 37. And Penn State will win this game. Now we've got another upset from the first round trying to go on. And Clemson were able to do it when they took on their team. But Indiana have a juggernaut in Georgia that they have to try to face here. Can they make the win happen and advance to play Penn State in the Orange Bowl? That would be a shock. And it could be a Clemson-Indiana final. I cannot imagine the scenes if that was to be the case. Okay, what just happened? Georgia win. Oh, that was so bad. I forgot to click the button. But Georgia get the win in very close fashion at the end of that game. So we'll have to look at that again, and I'll look in like the replay to see what just happened. But Georgia get the win. So they end Indiana's dreams, and it's going to be Georgia taking on Penn State in the championship. Not in the championship. Wow, that would be crazy. It is not in the championship, but let's just look at the stats here because, or not really, yeah, we want the scoring summary. So it was not very close. I mean, Indiana got a drive, but then I'm pretty sure right at the end there, yeah, I mean, Indiana got back into it, and then Georgia got a field goal, but Indiana scored again, and then they got a big drive to win it, and I was hoping that I could watch it, but I couldn't click the button in time. So that's okay. That's okay, though. We know that Georgia won, and so it's going to be Georgia-Penn State in the Orange Bowl and Clemson-Oregon in the Cotton Bowl. With this game, we are officially heading into uncharted territory. Two teams that did not win their first game are now going toe-to-toe in the Cotton Bowl, where the winner will make the national championship. This is a Clemson team that lost to Texas in the first round, and this is an Oregon team that lost to that got demolished by Ohio State in their matchup. But in real life, both of these teams were not even Oregon went undefeated this season, so I'll tell you that first. Clemson barely made the playoffs by beating SMU. I believe it was a game-winning field goal, walk-off field goal against SMU in the final in the ACC championship, and now they're in the semifinals of the college football playoff. That is how crazy this is for Clemson, and they could be in the championship if they can beat Oregon. And as much as I really wanted Clemson to just continue their underdog story, yeah, Oregon are dominating teams in this playoff, and they just really had I guess they just had an off day in real life, because they are whipping good teams. I mean, this Clemson team beat Texas, and they also beat Arizona State, but that's not, no offense to Arizona State, but that's not really a signature win to beat Arizona State, I would say. So, I mean, Clemson, like, there were hopes. This is a semifinal, so Oregon are in the national championship, but Clemson had the chance to make it out of the playoff and make it to the national championship to face the winner of Penn State, Georgia, and they could not do it. So Oregon will be in the final. Well, as it says on here, this semifinal matchup will be against the third ranked against second ranked, which is kind of crazy. That's not like it is in real life, but I'm expecting some fireworks here with Georgia and Penn State, both really good teams, and the winner will play Oregon in the national championship in Georgia. I mean, what else could you ask for? Hopefully this is a close game. Well, it's a close game here in the fourth, so I'm going to jump to slow here, and we're going to watch this. And Georgia are punting it to Penn State. It is a 8-point game. If Penn State can drive down the field and score, this game could be going to overtime, and that would be crazy to see in the semifinal of the college football playoff. A deep throw. He's running number 3, and he will score a big play in the Orange Bowl to make it to the national championship. Can Penn State get the 2-point conversion, get a stop on Georgia, and win this game? 39-41. Julian Fleming, the senior from Penn State, gets a massive pass, and he takes all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Malachi Starks, an amazing player chasing him, could not make the tackle. And you've put yourselves in a position to tie this game up. You have to get the 2-point conversion, though, if they even go for it. This would tie the game if they can get it. They seem to be wanting to take their time. Here we go. Georgia could essentially win it with a stop, but a tie if Penn State can catch it. I think you give it to the hands of your playmaker. Sack! It's a sack by Georgia. And now Penn State are in a bad position. And Georgia, a team that's not even in the tournament anymore, is on the brink of making the national championship. Penn State were the only team left that are still in the tournament. They are okay with punting it away, though, because they can get the ball back with a stop. Oh, that's a big play on the 19-yard line now. Can they get a stop of Georgia? And this is a bit unfair because Georgia don't have their starting quarterback. In real life, there's a big run by Etienne, and I think you can end the game right there. That's it, maybe. No, they still have to call a few plays, but if Penn State cannot stop Georgia, this game is over, and they'll stop them there. Timeout called. I think you can start kneeling out the clock here, folks. Well, no, there's still a minute left, which is the hard part. 2nd and 7. Hands it off. Good play. Final timeout called. And I believe it is now 3rd down, I think? It is 3rd down. If you don't get this, Penn State win. Georgia win. But you have to get the stop. Throws. Got it over the middle. Georgia will win this game. No way for Penn State to stop the clock. And Georgia will advance. left a guy wide open over the middle, and Georgia will win. They're going to just, I believe, just kneel out this clock. And there you go, Georgia, Oregon, a final matchup that isn't even possible anymore. That is it. Georgia win by 2 after Penn State couldn't get the 2-point conversion. But, well, there you go. An interesting game. It's time for the final, though. The final game of this episode and the final of the national championship. Well, it has come time for Oregon to face Georgia in the national championship. This scenario isn't even possible in real life, but this scenario has given us a ton of fireworks. And you know what? After simulating it here, I kind of like the format that we have right now. But the entire point of the series is to try out some new formats. So that's going to be starting in the next episode. We'll be trying out a ton of new formats. This one was just to kind of get a baseline and say, okay, so if Oregon, Georgia is in this one, what could it be in other ones? So, yeah, I mean, this is a great game for the final. Okay, so, I mean, this game is very, very, very close. When do you call it? Oh, wow, this game may be over. Oregon just stormed their way into a big lead, and they could be winning the national championship here. Look at all those Oregon fans in the stands. I mean, Georgia have to score and then get the ball back and then score. That's how it is. Also, can we just talk about how cool the scoreboard looks in the national championship in this game? They did a really good job of designing this game, especially that score, like how the logos are gold. I just love that. It makes it feel so much more luxurious. And the middle part being like that goldish tint, a little bit of a gradient going on. I love it. And then everything's being golden. It looks good, I'll tell you that. So snaps it. Georgia finds a man. And they're down 15. So they need to score fast, get the ball back, and then score fast again. But this team is more than capable of that. They are down by 15 though, which means they'll have to score, then that'll be like 7. So then if you get 7 there, you'll have to get it back and you'll be down by 6, I believe. No, I think you'll be down by 6. I could be wrong about that. Snap the ball. Georgia, you have time, you just gotta get rid of it. He's gonna take a big sack. You cannot take that if you're Georgia. That's a 2nd and 25 now that you're facing. And you're past the 52. So a field goal is not really going to allow anything. 2nd and 25. He just had to get rid of it. I mean, in this scenario, you cannot take a sack. And he's going to take another, barely gets that ball out. And that is going to roll into the end zone. 3rd and 25. Less than 2 minutes to go. Oregon can force a stop. They could win this game outright. This game was very close, and then I went to jump in, and it was 15-point lead for Oregon. So something happened, and it could be Carson Beck, because it's now a 4th and 35. I mean, we've seen 4th downs get converted in this playoff, but none this deep. I mean, a 4th and 35, have to have it, or you pretty much lose the game. And Oregon's pass rush has been unstoppable. So now you need 35 yards. So if you don't get it, Oregon will probably end up winning this game. They're only going to rush 3. And he's just going to have to, I mean, that's what you have to do, really. Heaves it up. There is a flag on the play. Oh, no. Could Oregon have just given up a big... no! Bailed out. On a 4th and 35, Georgia get a 1st down. Pass interference on the defense, and they now have a 1st down. That is a bailout call by the refs. And Georgia are still in this game. Carson Beck is throwing 2 interceptions here. But somehow, Georgia are still in this game. They should not be in this game. I will be the first to say that Georgia should not be in this game. It should be Oregon's ball right now, but a bailout DPI call and they're in it. Not for the long run, but they're still in it. Good catch, and you're going to call your first time out there. Carson Beck has done well, but you can't throw 2 interceptions in the final and expect to win. When you play good teams, they will capitalize and turn those into points, and that is actually probably the reason. Okay, big play though. Jared Smith down almost to the red zone here. First down on the 15. You have to score here, because if you don't, you can then get the onside kick because you've used your timeouts now. That is broken up, 2nd and 10. Less than a minute remaining. Can Georgia do something crazy here? I think even if they scored here, they would still need to get a touchdown and 2-point conversion. 3rd down. So this game is pretty much decided already, but they've gotten bailed out in 4th down. Could they need that scenario again here in the national championship? So far, at the end of every episode, I will give my thoughts on every format, and if I think it's better than this one that we have right now, that will be the ending of every episode. But Georgia batted away, 4th down. They need a touchdown here. Badly, a lot. If they don't get it, Oregon will win. They had a 4th and 35 earlier. Got bailed out by the refs. Can they do it again? Hopefully not bailed out by the refs again this time, but can they get a conversion here? Georgia, pressure coming, throws, 1st down. But he's not going to be there for the touchdown. They get the 1st down, but the touchdown is not there. And so now there's 46 seconds. They get a clutch 4th down again, but this time they can't get it. Will they get a touchdown? I mean, the clock is rolling. There's less than 40 seconds on the clock, which is quite a bit of time. And they're going to spike it. 2nd and goal. So now, I mean, Georgia, you have to score on this play, or one of these plays, but you have to throw it. You can't run it if you're going to not score in this play. And then you have to get an onside kick, and then I guess throw up a few Hail Marys. I mean, we've seen Penn State do it, but they couldn't get the 2-point conversion, so same thing could happen here. Georgia, you just got to get the ball off. Touchdown, Georgia. Now, do you go for 2 here or after the onside kick? It would be much easier to go for 2 here, but will they do it? Right now it is a 9-point game. A 2-point game, 2 points would make it a 7-point game. I don't know if they'll be able to, if they'll want to do that now or if they'll want to do that later. It looks like they will opt to do that. I'm not sure. They will opt to do that later. If they get to that point, they will opt to do that later. They're going to kick the field goal. If they miss this, the game's over. Okay, 37-45. 32 seconds. I mean, you have to go onside kick here. You only have one timeout. If Oregon gets this, they win. This is the biggest moment of Georgia's season. It's on the line right now. Booted in the air. He's going to catch it, and Oregon are your national champions in the first simulation of this tournament. Oregon have won the national championship. They're going to spike this. Game is over. Oregon are your national champions in this simulation. Not even a team that could physically win it now. They have been eliminated by Ohio State. But in this simulation, Oregon beats Georgia in the final. Really, I think a lot of people would think that this would be the actual championship. It's the two best seeds in the tournament playing each other in this final. So, I mean, really, this is a crazy game. I mean, Oregon did a really good job. It was close, and then they just took over at the end and got the onside kick when they needed to. But Dylan Gabriel did amazing. Well, that is going to be the end of this video. Now that we have our baseline stats, we can now talk about our thoughts from this format. So from this format, I mean, in real life, this is going to be hard because it's actually the one in real life. And so I can't compare it to the one in real life because it actually is the one in real life. Compared to the one in real life, it's very good. It's the exact same thing, so you can't really go wrong with that. But I mean, the thoughts that we had still, I still think that those are valid of bad seeding. And I think that that's still true even in this one. Clemson managed to make it through, which was really good for them. They didn't get a good seed. But, I mean, they didn't really do that well in the regular season either. So, but I think it's like Penn State had an easier route to the final, I would say, than Oregon. Oregon are a really good team, but they had to face Ohio State, and then they easily beat Clemson though. So now that I think about it, it's actually kind of 50-50. They really both had an easy way. Georgia did not have that hard of a playoff. They had to beat Indiana, that was really easy, and then Penn State, and I think they could have easily done that. So I'm pretty sure it was actually Georgia that had the easiest route to the final, which is fine, except that Georgia was, I'm pretty sure, the 2 seed, and Oregon was the 1 seed. So Oregon having a harder route is not very good, but it did end up being very chalk in the end with the 1 and 2 seeds facing. That's really all I have to say about this one. In the next episode, we'll be taking on a brand new format, and so that's going to be very interesting to see. But I did want to let you guys know, first of all, that I'm very excited about the series, and I also did want to let you know that this series is going to be taking the place of the winning in every team's biggest rivalry series I'm going to pause that series and I'm going to use this one instead. In case you started wondering where that series was, I'm still doing it. I'm just going to put it on pause for now and finish this series, and then I will jump right back into that. This one's I would say it's more of a time-sensitive one since the playoffs are happening right now. That's why I'm prioritizing it. The rivalry one, there's rivalries every year, so I can do that whenever I need to. But I just wanted to get that out. And then also, the teams will be the same in every time, and there's just going to be new ones every tournament, so there might be like Alabama making them in some of these tournament formats. But Oregon and Georgia should be like in all of them. I was just thinking, I was like, I hope that it's not Georgia-Oregon every single final. That would not be very fun, but it would make sense. So I'm just excited to see what happens in the rest of these. So see you guys in the next one of these or in the next video that I make, whichever one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and put the notifications on so you don't miss the next tournament format, because there are a lot of these to come, a lot of really good ones. I'm very, very excited. See you guys in the next format.